Good afternoon, everyone. My name is still Bence, and just like the other 2 days, I'm going to be your host again. First of all, let me introduce you the members of the jury again. First of all, I will start with the head of the jury, Miklós Kazma. He is currently an associate professor at the Corvinus University of Budapest, exactly at the Business Economics Institute. He's got a very great experience on teaching case solving, and also 15 years of experiences in financial and business advisory in several big companies, for example, at KPMG for the longest time. Second member of the jury, Ágnes Faktód. She's the Chief Financial Officer of Wrigley, Hungary and Bulgaria. As you know, Wrigley are one of our main sponsors of the CaseCamp 2014. She's also got 16 years very great experiences of financial acquisitions and merger. She worked in also huge companies and experienced a lot of acquisitions and mergers. Third member of the jury, István Maklári. As you already know him, former consultant, A.T. Kearney, BCG, currently at MasterCard, and also holds an MBA from Wharton Business School. Fourth member of the jury, fourth member, Tamás Rolek. Yeah, he's drinking his tea, I guess. Yeah. He is a student of Rajk László College of Advanced Studies, a very, very successful case and problem solver. For example, he is the winner of the Case Solver of the Year 2014 competition in Hungary. Congrats. Finally, Armin Bulder. He's a former consultant intern at IFUA, Horváth and Partner Hungary and Accenture. Currently, he works at Vodafone. He's also a very, very successful case and problem solver, and he's a former secretary at Janus Pannonius College of Advanced Studies also. Thank you so much for joining us for today, and just like yesterday, I'm gonna tell you something just very shortly about the rules. You will get 15 minutes for your presentation, and later on the jury is gonna have 7 added minutes for questions and answers. And just like yesterday, I'm gonna sit in there and warn you when you have 5 minutes left, and also warn you when you have just 1 minute left. Is that clear? Okay, then again, I would like to have a member from each team just to do the draw again. They are in the paper, so you Oh yeah, so here's the first team of today's afternoon. They are Team B.
Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Today we are going to show you an exciting investment opportunity in the furniture market. We are Adam, Andre and Maxim, and we are recommending you to buy Coral Furniture. It is a great company which has a healthy business. It's the leader in the upscale segment of the furniture market in the US. Its sales grew during the economic downturn, while other competitors were going down, and the company is continuously improving. It has survived already the startup in the maturation phase and the growth phase, and is now maturing at a solid, stable returns, and it will improve in the future. We value the company at approximately $400 million US, and compared to our peers, to our direct competitors, we are better based on multiples. So, once again, we recommend investing in Tor. So, who is Tor actually? Tor is a home furnishing retailer which was founded in 2003. It's privately owned, and they don't have any manufacturing. So they're just selling and use a network of domestic producers to produce the furniture. They have 29 stores, but they are planning to grow. It's a high-quality designer furniture, and their main focus is on an upscale wealthy consumers. Regarding the area, they started in the Midwest and are slowly expanding to the neighboring regions. So their mantra is helping a friend to furnish their home. Let's take a look at this. The number of stores was constantly growing, and actually, in the beginning, there were many stores, which of course meant a lot of capex, high investments. That's why the net income was going down. However, after these stores were established, they guaranteed some profit, some revenue, and this helped them to survive the financial crisis. So the profits were going up, the net income was going up even during the financial crisis. And right now, the growth is not as high anymore. However, the profits will be stable, and we will show you our projections shortly. So, who's our customer? Once again, our customer is, when it comes to price sensitivity, he has a very low price sensitivity, so he doesn't really care about money, but he doesn't want to spend any time. So basically, the customer experience which we offer has to be good, and the delivery time from our stores to the customer has to be extremely short. When we take a look at the competitors and our capabilities compared to that, we do have fewer lines of furniture than the competition, yes. However, the variety of styles, sizes, and patterns, and that's what the users are caring about. These are the hot buttons. We are better. When it comes to the skills of the sales associates, they are much better because they just invest a lot of that and in training, and they care about customer support. The staff turnover is low, and delivery time is extremely short. But because of that, they have huge inventory. So, summary, Tor is a niche player which has core capabilities that are relevant for this market. So once again, the growth rate in the beginning was extremely high, obviously, so they were successful in entering the market, and the growth rate is declining slowly. In the first years, and now it was declining further, however, still above the furniture sales growth. But how is actually the outlook?
Yes, so going forward, as stated, this is our analysis flow. We start with the business analysis, basically the half check of the company. After with revenue forecast, this is this part, cost forecast, budget cost, enterprise value, and at the end, the investment decision. So, revenue forecast. We believe that that was one of the most challenging parts of the actual valuation, so we would like to give some aspects how did we tackle the problems. And the first one was how can we project revenues based on historical data, because the company was established in 2003, and because of that, the first few years, actually 2004 to 2006, is a startup phase. So basically, it's a startup company. Obviously, the growth, the sales growth is pretty relevant and pretty huge. So we shouldn't establish our analysis on the basic data. In the next few years, there was an economic downturn. So again, we can't really establish our analysis on that data. So we came up with the solution that we should only base our analysis on data that is after 2009. And there is one more specific segment of the furniture industry that we should take into account, and that is the maturity effect. And basically, on the left side, you can see what it is. In the beginning, in the first years after opening a new shop, new store, the sales growth is pretty huge. Actually, it's more than 70%. But later on, as the business is maturing, the sales growth is diminishing. So how should we incorporate this? First, we get the clean data from data after 2009. We selected several growth rates after 2010, and we established the age distribution of stores. So what does it mean? That basically means that we know what percentage of the stores actually in the square foot is in its first year, second year, 3 year. So basically we could establish a projection how much is the given growth rate, sales growth rate is at the given year. So basically if 10% of the companies in 2010 is a company which was established 1 year before, we would apply the growth rate of comparable stores in the first year from 2010. With this in mind, we projected that the actual sales could go up by 2018 to almost 500 million. And now we should go to the cost forecast.
Okay, yes, so to get to the free cash flows and then later to the enterprise value, we needed the cost forecast. So for the additional lease payments, we did it really basically. So we want to open 2 new stores each year, and this is the number of how much is the lease payment per square foot and also the furniture. The tricky part was the CGS, which we base the same way as Adam already explained. So it depends on how many stores we have and how old they are. As we know, the CGS drops from 70 to around 40% in 8 years. And all the other expenses like CGA, advertising, corporate expense, also depreciation, capex, working capital, we base that on the increase in number of stores. So we believe that will be mostly proportional. So once we had these costs, we could get the enterprise value. So our WACC, weighted average cost of capital, is around 12%, and the long-term growth is expected to be 3.5%. Those are the expected cash flows, and these are in thousands. So based on all that, we value our company to be around 400 million. But that number by itself doesn't tell us a lot, so we want to compare that with the market, to compare what the other firms are worth. So we use multiples for that. We had quite some problems to find appropriate comparison, but we decided based on the following criteria. So the sizes are quite bigger, and the most important criteria for us was what their business is, so that they are in retail like we are, and in the same market, so the USA. For us, that was the most important. So these are the multiples, which seem to be quite different, but the LZ Boy is roughly around our value, maybe a bit more, but it's also bigger firm. So we believe that this value is also due to less fixed costs, and the other firms which we would get lower value, we believe is because they are much smaller, 2-3 times smaller, and they experience higher fixed costs. Yes, what we also did is that we compared the return on investment, because the sizes were quite different. And the return on investment in our firm is around 15%, while the next firm is less than 10%. So based on multiples and also on the return on investment, we believe that we are a good investment opportunity. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for TV, and now it's the jury's turn. We have 7 minutes for questions.
So this is a profitable company, and even in times of crisis, the company managed to grow. This is positive. If this seems like a good business opportunity, what do you think about the method of forecasting recent performance? I'm thinking, are there any new entrants or existing competitors who could try to take away some of our market share based on the promising outlook that you presented?
Okay, so these are the risks that we think might be possible. But at the same time, the main thing we were focusing on is return on investment. We looked at for the past years and also for the forecast, so based on income and sales. We believe that also there are potential risks. We are still quite strong in this market.
And your competitors probably see this as well, right? That was my point. You're not afraid that they will try to take away some of that good business opportunity you represent?
We are not really afraid of that because we really have a strong sales force and we were able to establish stronger customer relations.
Okay.
Right, so the customers know our brand already. They know that they get high quality and that they get extremely good support and low delivery time. So these are the customers I trust. And that's why we are not afraid of new entrants.
Do you have any views around that? To what extent you would like to invest further in the US market to be able to sustain the growth you have projected?
So the additional costs.
I mean that which geographically or how many stores, it depends on you, how you estimate it, and how many stores or which geographical areas you would like to target in to be able to sustain your growth.
Well, we believe that the right approach is 2 years per store, and what we are targeting is not the next 7 years, so we will go more south.
Stay as close as possible and where we are because we are one central distribution location and just going slowly to the south.
If we go to slide 13, you mentioned something that caught my attention about the cost of goods sold, and which drops from 70% to 40%. Can you actually explain to me? Because in my understanding, that's a trade business. If I cheap, you sell expensive. So why would your costs go down this much? Is the fifth bullet point in the second? Okay.
It's also
Yeah, actually, this data is based on opinion of the industry experts. So we received this information that in the first year, the cost of goods sold is 70% of the sales. But later on, as it becomes a more mature business, they can draw it down to 40%. But unfortunately, we don't know the actual reason for this.
So I would stick to the numbers that you projected about the cash flow and the multiples. So what does this $400 million mean? Is that if your advice to buy it for $400 million would mean that with this 12% cost of capital, we are at our money, right? So if am I right? So what is it that the business worth $400 million, or we should buy it for $400 million? I mean, if it worth $400 million and I buy it for $400 million, I'm not better off than I.
And the actual enterprise value is worth 400 million. So if you can only invest in the company lower amount of 400 million, then you should do it. That's the actual price. It's not the recommended price if you would like to invest in the whole company.
You highlighted in the early stage of the presentation that this is an advantage of a company that you have very good training, very professional staff. What is your people strategy to use this advantage further?
Well, what exactly unique and what type of strategy.
And you said that this is a key advantage that your staff, you have highly trained and highly professional staff. This is one of your advantage versus your competitors. What is your strategy? How do you use this advantage further? And what is your people and organizational strategy to the company?
Okay, well, when opening new stores, obviously, we are transferring some knowledges and best practices from the existing stores to the new ones. Trying to establish there also some customer relationship. Well, that's basically the strategy. And we are delivering high quality goods and sold by high quality people.
We have got for one last question.
Can I ask you a little bit about the customer base? So I think you summarized very well what's the value proposition, why people should choose you instead of, let's say, other high-end furniture stores. What I'm worried a little bit about is that typically the high-ticket items you buy once in, 15 years? You buy a couch and you use it for 15 years. And then maybe they furnish the entire apartment, but then they don't buy anything. So you have, in my understanding, you would have a low number of returning customers. So it's always a marketing fight for new customers, convincing them. Well, what is your position? What's the strategy of that? Because I'm a little bit worried. They spend all the money and then you don't talk to them for 15 years or so.
Well, these customers are actually pretty loyal, so they are upscale, and either they buy new houses or maybe somewhere else, so they stay with us. So that's one return. Furthermore, the children grow up, right? They move out of the house, so then again we have some if they are making presents to the loved ones, high scale presents, big wedding, big other life event, they are going with us.
Okay, thank you so much, Team B. And as far as I know, we already got the second team, right?